In this Palworld video, I bring you 50 plus base tips and tricks you need to know about. We also check out some of the other best tips and tricks that you need to see. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. How's it going, guys? My name's DPJ, and if you do enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps me out. And if you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. So this video will be a combination of older and new tips and tricks for returning players, older players and even new players. This will be an all-in-one video for your viewing pleasure. We can learn while you play Palworld. So let's get into it, guys. And let's start with the newest additions and changes. So the drafting table is a new addition which allows you to combine less rare blueprints into those of a better quality. Now, blueprints come from a variety of different places, but a great way to get them is by changing your world settings, which can give you a massive advantage here. Now, I will talk about world settings later on in the video, but a tip for blueprints here is to change the meteorite and supply drop intervals down to a 1. This means they will spawn into your world every single minute. And a great tip for this is, while you're out in the open world, the harder areas the better obviously, once a supply drop or meteorite drops down, if you stay in that same spot, another will fall in the exact same spot, and this will happen every single minute of a supply drop or meteor landing in that one very same spot, as long as you clear out the last meteorite or supply drop and kill all the enemies around said meteor or supply drop. If you stay in that position, they will drop in every minute, and these are great for those blueprints, but you also get many other things from these too. Another new addition is the Dimensional Pal storage, which adds 320 pages of new pals, which I believe is over 9,000 new pals you can have here, which is unreal. So if you're a mass breeder or a crazy collector, then you now have much more space outside of your pal box to store them. Now, there was a bug where pals were vanishing from this Dimensional Pal storage, but that's something I do believe is now fixed, so collect away. Another new addition is the Global Pal box. This is a new feature which allows you to transfer pals across worlds or even trade them with other players. Now, as I make this video, there are some insane glitches and exploits you can use, which allows you to more or less duplicate pals, pal consumables and much more. That is a video though, I will link in the video description if you do want to check it out. Another new feature comes with the Antique Dresser. Now, this isn't a new item, but now this allows you to basically transmog your character. This means you can dress and look the way you want to look, but actually at the same time reap the benefits and stats of the armor you do indeed want to use. So if you want to look a certain way but have the armor of some of the best in the game, you can indeed do this. Another change they applied were making a pal expedition size a little more bearable in regards to their size, actually making them a lot smaller than they used to be. But another trick you can use is making them actually float in mid-air. This also works with many other things in regards to bell feeding boxes, crushers, assembly lines and even more. Try out and experiment with it. So how you do this is, you need to build advanced storage chests on top of each other, which is straightforward. Then guys, once you have the height you want, simply build the Pal expedition size on top of it, or whatever else you want to build up on these. Then guys, what you do is you delete the storage boxes, and there you'll have it. Your floating expedition site stays in mid-air, and you can do a few crazy things with this if you really wanted to, but it's also a great way to save space within your base. On the basis of stacking, you can also stack those crop plots, which work amazingly well. To do this, build wooden benches on top of each other. I like to go to about 6 up. Then build a crop plot on top, whatever one you want to use, you can even mix and match them. Delete the highest wooden bench, then build another crop plot. Repeat until you hit the bottom bench, and there you have it guys, a simple but yet amazing strat in saving tons and tons of space in your base. You can also use this same method in stacking ranches and even breeding pens, but instead of using wooden benches, you need to use a large storage containers, and then just make enough ground space to build a ranch on top or a breeding pen on top. Use the same method, build up as much as you want in regards to how many ranches or breeding pens you want on top of each other. Using that alignment mode is a must here. It's just a must. Then once you have as much as you want on top of each other, build a ranch or breeding pen. Then delete the large storage containers one level down at a time as you build a ranch on top of them. It's quite simple, guys, and quite easy. You can even mix and match in regards to ranches and breeding pens on the same spot. Now you can do this as high as you want, but all the breeding pals and the ranch pals will be at that ground level. It can get a little bit confusing when things start to pile up, but hey, if you do need to save space, you can use this strat to indeed save that space. You can also, guys, stack assembly lines. Here, using the square table, you basically do the same thing, stack them on top of each other. And then again here, guys, pull out an assembly line, build it on top, delete a table, build down, mix and match those assembly lines if you want to save space in that way. I actually like to build a ramp or stairs next to these, which gives me easy access to setting tasks on these assembly lines. But yeah, do what you gotta do, people. Okay, so back to the Power Expedition sites. Now you can actually unlock more than the standard expos set by travelling around the map and defeating the tower bosses on that hard mode. In doing this, guys, you unlock more of those expeditions to send your pals out on to earn you even more loot. Now, completing Pal expeditions faster is all determined by the power of your pals. The better your pals, the quicker they will get things done. I can get mine down to about 5 to 7 minutes depending on the pal type, which is no time at all. But yeah, condensed pals, high level pals and so forth are the best pals to use outside of the required pals to get that timer as low as possible. So do what you gotta do here, people. Now also with these Pal expedition sites, you can use more than one at once, but they need to be set up in different bases. So it's one Pal expedition site per base, but depending on how many bases you have, is your limit on how many you can run at once. Now the Pal Labour Research Lab is a great place to earn yourself some amazing buffs, which help across the board in regards to what goes down in your base in regards to working. This can be crops, crafting, farming, etc, etc. Now these work by you setting the research and then having a base working pal complete said research. Now you can actually have multiple of these set up at the same time within the same base, meaning you can use multiple pals to complete the research to get it done much quicker. Now if in your base, if you are anything like me and use the advanced storage chests, you can actually label them by putting wooden signs on top of them to keep things organised and neat. Try it out. Talking about chests, the guild chest is a great new addition to vanilla players coming back. This is a chest which is basically one chest you can access from all of your bases, so its contents can be shared across bases. But there's more to this thing and a few things you can use it for. So if you have farming bases set up for things like oil, hexolite, even ranches, whatever, you can easily set them up so the transporting powers within those bases take materials straight into the guild chest, which means you can access all of your farming materials from all of your farming bases from one point in your main base. Another great thing about the guild chest is foods. Things like milk, eggs, and even foods you've cooked and so forth do not have a spoil timer while in this chest, while in the guild chest. So it can be used to store foods from ranch bases or even cooking bases without you having to worry about said food spoiling. Now in regards to bases and the best spots for materials in which you can set up farming bases, the best Hexolite farming spot is right here on the new Feybreak island, where you'll find 3 Hexolite nodes right next to each other. There's also a Crude oil node here too, great. The best spot for Chromite is within this cave right here, an original spot I covered a while back. Pocket Pair then for some reason patched the ability to build within here and reduce the Chromite nodes, but that has now been reverted and you can now build back within this cave. And and there's also 4 Chromite nodes within here, so a great spot to come to or even build a base within. That's completely up to you. Now the best spot for oil is right here on the map. This spot is the only current place in the game where you can find 3 crude oil nodes where one base will cover all 3 of them. Now there's a trick you can still use where you can place down 2 oil extractors on a single node. That means if you use this spot within this game where there's 3 nodes within a one base's perimeter, you can place down 6 oil extractors all working at the same time. Here is exactly how you place down 2 oil extractors on a single node. So placing 2 oil extractors on a single node has never been easier. I uploaded a video the other day, helped hundreds and hundreds of people who were struggling with this, but a shorter version for today's video is every single one of these oil nodes are the exact same in design. If you come across to this one right here guys, you'll see it's the exact same. Everything about it is the exact same. But what you want to do guys is you want to look for this section of the oil node right here. And I can see I work my magic and you can see that distinct shape right there. I mean, you'll see this one right here has like a heart shape to it. These, I'd say these 4 are all like separated by cracks, just like so. And then guys, we have this distinct section right here. This is the beauty spot because what this one is, it's the furthest from center to the back. And that's how you get this to work. So find that piece on the oil node you are in, come to the back of it guys, then simply walk slowly forward and you'll see a bit of blue come through the center, just like so. So what you want to do guys is go as far back as you can with the blue and you'll see sometimes look like this. Then guys, just simply go left or right and then simply go back a bit more. You want to get that center point as small as possible, just like that. And you can do this by moving left and right as well as forward and backwards. As soon as you get it to that point guys, place it down and simply walk forward and you'll see 100% of the time you've actually got a bit of wiggle room as well here guys to place this down. So yeah, you don't even have to be perfect as I just explained. Place it down and then guys, you have 2 oil nodes on the exact same spot. And again, these oil nodes are the exact same in design all across the map. I've tried and tested this in multiple places. So yeah, there you go guys, that's how you get this done. Now in regards to powering the oil extractors, especially if you have 6 of them, a couple of perfect Azure mains or Ozerks will do you just fine. I do however have like 4 roam in my base with a couple of the large electric generators, so things are always running. Now in regards to passives, we'll talk about them later on in the video. Another trick you can semi-use here is stacking the electric accumulators. Now you have to stack a ton of these to have your electric run through the night, but once they're all charged to 100%, you will get a decent length of electricity if you have enough set up. But in my opinion, in regards to doing this, the quicker and much better way is just basically making the perfect Azure main or Ozerks, just having the perfect passives on, probably nocturnal thrown in so they work all night, which will save you the hassle of crafting and stacking electric accumulators. Now in regards to breeding here, you're obviously going to need plenty of cakes. Now previously the only way you could more or less get these, which is still the only way you can get them, is just a much faster way of doing so now, is by obviously having your ranch pals crafting you that milk, those eggs and that honey, while also at the same time harvesting that flour via having those crop plots set up within your base. This was more or less the only way to indeed make cakes fast, but it's actually a much quicker way of doing so now. And you can even make a cake making base, which is something I did. All you need to do guys is more or less set up a base where you have those mining pals. The perfect mining pals will be an Astagon, again passives we'll talk about later on in the video, a couple of transporting pals like Anubis, a smelting pal like Chromite Ignis, and then guys set up a furnace, whatever furnace you can more or less afford, depends where you're at in the game. With the Astagons mining those ore sites, you now obviously want to put down and create those new gold assembly lines. Well, I say new, they've been in the game for a while, but for some players they may be new. And just craft tons and tons of gold. Then guys, you go to the small settlement camp, and you can either capture the vendor here, or you can just buy from him here. It's up to you. I prefer to capture him and bring him back to this base and have everything set up within this base. But he will sell you the materials or the ingredients to make those cakes. Absolutely everything besides honey. Then guys, within this same cake making base, you have a couple of ranches set up. We let Bigardes do their thing and drop you that honey. And there you have it guys, an all-in-one cake making base. It's a much easier way than actually using the crop plots as you used to before, and ranches. I mean, now you only need a couple of ranches with Bigardes. You only need the ore mining sites with Astigons, the forges or smelters with that German-tied ignis to craft you those metal ingots. You also as well need a mill and a watering pile to turn that wheat into that flour. You then guys use your Anubis to more or less craft you that gold at the gold assembly lines, and you then guys pick up the gold, go straight to the NPC vendor and purchase the ingredients, or the rest of the ingredients to craft you those cakes, and just get to cooking them, people. It really is as simple as that, and again, it's a much quicker way in getting those cakes. It's why I have probably about 100,000 cakes now. So yeah. Now sticking with breeding, it's amazing to me how many videos I'm still watching where people who are using the new electric egg incubators but not using the set all button, which automatically takes the eggs out of your inventory and will save you a ton of time. Just a short little tip there. So the monitoring stand is a great way to set pals up to do tasks within your base. But there's more to this. You can actually remove certain work traits from pals if you don't want them doing a certain thing, or if you want them to concentrate on another certain things. Like Bigardes at the ranch, if you want them to do their own thing, leave them as they are, but if you want them to only drop honey, then turn everything else off apart from that ranch trait, and therefore guys, all they will do from that moment forward is sit within the ranch and drop you that honey. Also with the monitoring stand, you can actually set individual pals to do individual tasks and nothing else. You can also do this guys in regards to breeding. So if they drop a pal within your base out of your pal box and it runs off and you can't be bothered to chase it, go to the monitoring stand, you can actually more or less send him to that breeding pen. Pretty cool. Now in regards to the best working base pals and passives here, I have my recommendations. But within today's game, with the applied technique books, you can make some incredible working pals. But from off the bat, the ones to chase, in my opinion, ones who have a standard at level 4 in those working traits. For kindling, it will be German-tied ignis. For watering, it will be Flareus aqua. Planting is still going to be Lilian. Gathering is Frostalia Nut. Handiwork is Splatterina or Anubis. Splatterina though being a dark power meaning she'll work all night long. Transporting we have a Noclem. Electricity we have Orzerk or Azurmane. Mining we have Astigon or Noclem. Astigon being a dark type power though, so again will work all night long. Cooling we have Bastigar, lumbering we have Celestia, and medicine production we have Bellinor and Bellinor Libero. Now in regards to the best base working passives here, I personally, because my custom world settings, I have my nighttime going really fast, I ain't got to worry about that. So best working passives for me are Work Slave, Artisan, Remarkable Craftsmanship and Serious. Now I know a lot of people like Nocturnal on their powers to make them work through the night, which I completely understand. It's actually a good one to go for. Or Vampiric for people who don't have raids turned off. This is a great one too. Now a few other pals to have around the base, Prunelia, who if in a base with crops increases their harvest. Lulu, who when in a base with crops increases the growth rate of those crops. Shroomer and Shroomer Nut, when working in bases, decreases the rate in which those sand levels come on. Again, Shroomer Nut though will work all night long. So yeah, best base working pals and passives in my opinion. So let's move on to the custom world settings. Now there are tons and tons of changes here you can actually play around with in regards to XP, damage and so forth, but the most important ones in my opinion you should be paying attention to are the infinite carry weight setting. I mean, this just makes life so much easier and won't drastically affect the game for you. The better pal stamina, so turn this up so your pal has much more stamina. This is great if you're a fan of pals like Jet Dragon, who run out of stamina much quicker than many other quick flyers. So yeah, another thing you want to pay attention to is what I spoke about earlier in regards to getting plenty of good more or less endgame materials and blueprints, is the supply drop and meteorite setting here. We can set this down to 1, meaning they will spawn in every minute. I personally have mine on about 20. I ain't really fussed about them coming in every single minute here. I'm already at endgame. I've already got everything in the game has to offer. But yeah, another thing you may want to do is turn those raids off if it's not something you're interested in. If you don't want to worry about your base being raided, especially if you're playing your own world, I'd probably turn this off. But if you enjoy your base being raided, if you enjoy taking out pals and NPCs and farming the loot from them, leave this on. Now the last setting here is 10 bases. Turn your bases up to 10, and you do this by turning this setting up right here, which is max bases per guild. Put this on a 10 guys, and you can then build 10 bases within your world. Pretty cool. Now with a patch we had probably about a month ago now, they introduced new work traits to NPCs. So yes, NPCs you catch in the open world now, whether they are hostile or just say vendors, if you catch them and take them back to your base, they will have new work traits on them, and some of them are pretty good people, so get capturing those humans. Another great addition is the change to elemental chests, where they applied new rewards to them, specifically dog coins and a small chance of getting the applied technique book. So if you see those elemental chests, if you have the correct elemental power on you, make sure you open them. They also changed the way in which you can organise your pals now within your pal boxes, your dimensional pal storage, and even the global pal box. You can now arrange pals in many different ways. Or if you like to be like me and have them set up in a way in which you just know where they are, you can do what you gotta do here. A few other tips and tricks which may help you along the way. How to insta mount your pal, whether that be a ground mount or a fly mount. Things can get a little bit sticky. Let's say you're on the oil rig, you've taken out all of the ground and air turrets, but you want to make it a quick escape. Sometimes when you put out your pal and you try and hold that button to mount it, it don't work. The pal just runs off and starts beefing with other pals and other NPCs. But a great way to do this is to hold the mount button before you pull out your pal. 9 times out of 10 this will insta mount you to your pal and will allow you to get out of that current situation in a quicker time as possible. Another great addition is the homing sphere module. What this does is once you craft it and equip it, if you're capturing, let's say, a legendary pal and you throw a sphere at it, while that sphere is doing that countdown on screen of trying to capture that said pal, if you throw another one at that pal while it's still in that sphere, it will hang around, it will spin in mid-air, and as soon if the pal does escape the first sphere, the second sphere will insta catch the pal. And you can do this over and over until that pal is caught. It's a great way to capture pals much easier now. Another nifty trick you can use to get more inventory space is to craft all pouches and apply them. You can only apply one of each, so don't craft multiple of the best, it will not work, but if you craft one of each, you get much more inventory space. Pretty cool. Now, one of the newer NPCs they added into the game was Dr. Braun. What Dr. Braun does is he allows you once per day to swap out a passive of any one of your pals, which is a great new addition. So if you're a specific breeder and you've got multiple of, let's say, a certain pairing of parents, and the baby's always missing that one specific passive, you can use Dr. Braun to swap out a passive. Now it is random. There's no guarantee it's going to swap out the one passive you don't want for the one passive you do want. It's all high risk here, but again you can do this once per day. So if you do go into your custom world settings and set your day and night intervals to the fastest setting possible, you can do this quite often actually. But yeah, don't matter how many Dr. Brons you actually catch, who is a random NPC you'll find located across the open world here and there. It doesn't matter how many you have, it's still only once per day. Another thing they've added into the game is the Power Critics Questline and the Applied Technique books. Now the Applied Technique books we spoke about plenty of times, I'm pretty sure you know what these are. What they do is they allow you to more or less apply a certain working trait to individual pals. So if you get a Transporting Applied Technique book, you can apply this to any pal in the game which has a transporting trait on it but isn't a level 4. So if you have a pal with a level 3 of that transporting trait on it, you can apply a Transporting Applied Technique book to it and it will go up to a level 4. Then when you fully condense into it, guys, guess what? It goes up to a level 5. So it's a great new addition. But these things are super rare. Your best chance of getting these are from the new oil rig chests, but it's still like a 1% chance. It's so rare, it's unbelievable. But you can get 3 or 4 completely free by doing a Power Critics quest line. Now I've made a complete video guide about this which I'll link in the video description, but at certain teleporting points across the map, guys, you'll come across Power Critics who more or less are requiring you to showcase to them certain pals in a certain order. If you complete this quest line, you get 3 or 4 of these Applied Technique books. You can also get a free Applied Technique book from the cave we covered earlier, which I spoke about building the Chromite base within. So if you go here and you haven't been here already, there will be an NPC in here within this cave who will give you one of these books completely free. So grab that, guys, while you can. And there we have it, guys. The end of the video has arrived. If you have any tips and tricks you would like to add, drop a comment down below within the comments section. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps me out. If you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. And hopefully, guys, I will see you on that next one.